Oh, wow. Okay. There's the law here. Hello, everyone. CCCX. Shane here with oh, hang on. What's going on? Okay. With Dave, Morgan, Rob, and Lee. I slept in, so this is my fault. This is what happens when you stay awake for 2 days straight. So, yeah. So, hello everyone. We're only on YouTube. Facebook has denied us, so I'm going to share some links over on Facebook. So we're here to talk about the ComX presents comics anthologies. We've got Presents and we've got Presents Noir. Dave is from Presents Noir. Rob is from Presents. And Lee's also from Presents Noir. And Morgan actually helped us out with the video on the Kickstarter itself. What I'll do is I'll just share some links over things. So you guys talk while I share some links over on Facebook so people in Facebook can actually watch us. So,
right, mate.
Take it, Lee.
Take it, Well, it's wonderful Saturday morning, and I just feel like I've been sold a dummy pass there. It's like forward running, bang, see you later. No, I'm out of the game, but it's good to be back in this morning. Sorry, we're a little bit late. These things happen when people are running Kickstarters, working, living life, and stuff like that. I would like to say, Morgan, I see you've got another Kickstarter up and running, mate. So, is that correct?
Indiegogo this time. Yeah. I like to spread it around.
Spread the love.
Tap myself out wherever I can.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I saw the artwork for that the other day. It looked really bloody awesome, man. So you got a rocking little crew there going on with whatever's happening. So. And congratulations on meeting your funding goals and stuff for Amnesty. So that was a success for you as well. So
yeah, congratulations. That's wicked.
Yeah, so another Australian independent comic book rocking and rolling there, which is a lovely, lovely thing. So and I had the pleasure the other day, Morgan, of viewing a video that you can tell my age calling them videos. A film, let's say that, with an introduction and presentation for the ComX Presents stuff, and that was really, really awesome, man. Thank you very much for doing that work.
Good segue. So, I can actually play it. I've got it set up.
Yeah.
Shano, fire away, mate. Everyone at home listening, check this out.
This is the right one.
Enter a world of intrigue, drama, and explosive action. A world of heroes, villains, turtles, and extraterrestrials. ComX Studios presents Number 1 is a brand new anthology series which features original stories told by some of Australia's most thrilling indie comic creators. Our first issue is packed full of mystery, drama, and fun. It features 4 new stories, each with their own unique artistic and narrative style. In this special Kickstarter release, we're offering the ComX Presents Full Colour Anthology, as well as an upcoming Presents Noir Black and White Anthology. The anthologies will feature a total of 8 unique stories, told in their own comic styles and voices.
Awesome.
How good
Well
is
done,
that?
Morgan.
Just
Right.
can't help but dance during that last song.
I love hearing my own voice in a voiceover. It's just so wonderful to hear your own voice.
Well, no, it's good, mate. Yeah, you got a good voice. Imagine it putting me on there. Oh, good blimey. No,
It's a Flaming Drongo presents here.
I'm going, mate.
No, I thought that was great. It's I was sitting in Coronavirus Central up here in Townsville. Hello, Jerome. And Shane sent me that link while I was on lunch, and I had that cranking out of the phone in a very dead, quiet street, and I was the only buffhead sitting out in it with a face mask on, you know. So, the main street of Townsville got to hear that ad. So it was good. It gave me a G up to get through the rest of the day. So thank you, Morgan, for that. So that was fantastic. Yeah, no, it's awesome.
I'll tell you.
So can I say I've done a gig in Townsville now? Is that a thing?
Beg your pardon?
Can I say I've done a gig in Townsville now? Because it was
sure. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Been there, done that in the can. So
That's what it's called Speedway, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, mate, it's been funny up here the last couple of days. This lockdown, but everyone's still out and about, and shops are open and stuff. So it's one of those unusual things at the time. So
us Victorians are used to it, aren't we, Spedgy?
Been there, done that, mate.
Get there, mate. Get used to it.
Yeah.
Life.
I'm just happy I've got a nice cloth, like mask. I feel sorry for the poor buggers that are cruising around in those surgical masks because, they wouldn't be very comfortable, I can tell you. So it's
no, you got to take your hat off to the nurses and doctors and whatever, all the people that are actually doing that all day, every day, 8 hours a day, at work and then whatever in their time off.
Oh, absolutely, man. Frontline workers, mate. So, yeah.
Your ambulance drivers, coppers, the lot.
Yep.
True that.
So,
do you maybe want to show the images of the stories that are in the Presents comics, and the rest of us will try and...
you read my mind.
We'll distill the information that we know from having spoken to all the creators.
Yep, I was just jumping onto that. So I'll just start in the order that they're in here at the moment. So we've got Foes first.
Awesome show. All right, well, so this is Foes by Peter Wilson. You got Dementus and Zero here, a demon and an alien. They're both wanting to take over the world, is my understanding. But
yep, that's right.
The problem is they both hate each other and they can't get over their hate for each other, and they can't see the forest for the trees, and spend most of their time fighting with each other when they should be concentrating on the job. Is that? I didn't know.
That's pretty much it. Yeah,
that's pretty much it. That's from my understanding. That's what it's all about. They're so busy fighting with each other over who gets to take over the world that nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
I think they've each got their own agenda, so that's why they can't work together.
And I believe Peter sums it up with they're both losers. So
yeah. And obviously Peter Wilson's artwork just kicks ass. So
definitely.
Yeah, you guaranteed some good times with Pete's stuff.
Well, in that video clip, you saw the scene in the cafe, the milk bar,
with the donut.
With the donut, beautiful, just absolutely fantastic, that shot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So looking forward to that one.
Next?
We've got Vivian Jones by Isaac George.
Yes, the Occult Detective.
Now, this story, I was going to say, with this story, I don't know too much of exactly what the story is about. I believe it starts with a bit of a flashback to how he got his scar on his face. And he's investigating something. That's all I know about that story, as a detective would be.
There's a spooky giraffe witch in there somewhere.
Yeah, and everyone's a giraffe, has a giraffe head. Yeah, so it's not just him; it's the entire universe. So,
Oh, so he's not just a one-off detective. I laughed at that the other night with.
Yeah. He's not
Yeah,
just a
who
Trelawney. Just an unexplained turtle walking around.
Giraffe
the
world.
funny, friendly banter we have. It's funny.
Yeah, it's everyone's a giraffe. It's a giraffe.
yeah, everyone's got the giraffe head. They're all humanoid with giraffe heads.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
so
Very
he's not
interesting.
special except for the fact that he's an occult detective.
The trees would be pretty bare in that universe.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Cool. So the next one we've got is Final Dragon. This is pretty much, it's like an alternate universe where one of the characters from Double Dragon gets out of jail for we're not really told what he's in jail for, and he goes for revenge. So it's just pretty much karate action. It's him fighting the bad guys. That's pretty much the entire story. I won't tell you the ending, of course, because that would be pretty stupid. But yeah, so he's just fighting. It's awesome. It's done in the old 80s style. The artwork with the coloring is done in the old 80s comic style, so it's really retro. It's got a really cool look about it. Ed Kearsley, sorry, is the actual creator behind it. I should say that. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. He's been doing Twitch videos, drawing each page a night. So a week, I should say. So that's been really cool. So we'll move on to the next one. And we've actually got the guy who made this one. So I'll let him take over. We got Impulse by Dave Dye.
Right, yes. Okay, well, this story is about the kid. He never got a name in the story. Shane asked me, what's this main character's name? And I said, well, geez, I don't know. He hasn't got one. Okay, we'll call him the kid. So, yeah, he's a young fella who's been prowling the streets for probably half his life, you know, in and out of jobs, in and out of good and bad luck, having a rough run. Doesn't have a lot of money or possessions to his name, and he has he's walking down the street and sees something that he really wanted, and it's sort of a story about how things in your life can lead to other things, and they can snowball out of control and get worse and worse as error compounds error. Mistakes develop into worse and worse situations. So in the end, well, I can't tell you what happens in the end, but it's a bit of a surprise and sudden end, and it finishes off quite dramatically. There's a lot of action in it, a lot of bit of violence, and a lot of twists and turns.
Cool.
Don't know what else.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool story. I've had the fortunate chance to read it. So now the next one, I know a little bit about this one, Killer Bee by Tony Menzie. She got that scar on her face when she was young, and something happens in her older age where she comes, I guess those people come back into her life, and I think the story, I could be wrong, I think the story is about revenge. So that's, and as the name can say, she gets the revenge pretty severely by being Killer Bee. So yeah, it's not a who done it, because we know who done it. It's more of a how she did it and why she did it. So yeah,
her name's Beatrice, is it, or something?
I think it's Beatrice, I think, from memory.
So, yes, and she might be an apiarist.
Yeah.
So they're double entendre with the bee.
Yeah,
Or
with
is
the
she
bee.
Cable from X-Force with that eye?
Yeah.
Might be connected to the coronavirus. She's on the run
Cool.
from Cyclops and Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Marvel
Well, if
gonna
she
sue
pulls
them.
out guns 5 times the size of her, then we'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the path he's going on.
They wouldn't be
If-
hell guns
Absolutely.
unless she's got a devil's toilet there.
Cool. So we'll move on to the next one. This one I know a little bit about. This is Bin Kitty Blood Hail. This is a side story to the main comic that Duncan Prenavicius does called Bin Kitty. The way he summed it up to me was there are some terrorists in a building or somewhere, a venue of some sort, who are planning to kill 40,000 people. And by just pure bad luck, because Bin Kitty's not a hero, Bin Kitty's got one mission: to find out who the hell she is and why, and who the hell tried to kill her. And in that mission, these terrorists get in her way. So the story is about what happens when these terrorists get in her way. And will she save the 40,000? Won't she save the 40,000? You will have to read to find out.
Is that a one-off, Sizzle?
No, no. I believe this story spans over 3 chapters.
Right.
So issue 1 just has chapter 1 of the story.
Mhm.
That's the same with Foes. This is the first chapter of 3. Vivian Jones was. I'll put the pictures up so it's not so hard to tell what I'm talking about. Foes is a 3 chapter story, so over the 3 issues of Presents. Vivian Jones, I believe, is 12 chapters. So that will actually take, because the comic is every 2 months, that'll take 2 years to tell that story. Final Dragon is 3 chapters as well. Impulse is just a one-off story. Killer Bee is a one-off story. These are 3 chapters, so that's very popular, the 3-chapter version of the stories.
Right.
And then we've got... there's still 2 more to go. The 2 guys that are here, I just thought I'd do what the stories were first, and then we'll move on to Marathon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I can't remember. Is it 9 chapters or Lee? Or
Yeah, we're getting Bustle's Battle for Bustle is 9 chapters. And
that's what I'm getting.
There, that one there I'm aiming at 12. So
12 as well.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
Holy gosh.
So
Nice.
it'll be a marathon too.
Yeah. Well, I told you the story, I guess, of my dad last night and how marathon is a word that's forever drilled and tattooed into my brain. So I guess if I'm going to do something, I like to dig in and have a good crack at it, mate. So no one ever died wondering. So it's got to do it. It's a story there to be told that I've wanted to tell for a long time. So it's about small town on the outskirts, 1 marathon length away from the main settlement, and there's a group of men over time called runners that are the communication line and the delivery people of an energy source that keep the main settlement working and going and operating. And for the last few years, runners have been going missing, and the energy source and the information has not been getting through. The whole process, basically, Ambrose Chapel there is the last runner. Jason is, I guess, his adopted brother to a certain extent, and it's Ambrose's. He's the last man, and he's a unique dude. He thinks about things differently than the other runners before him. He thinks outside the box, and he decides to depart on his mission at the allotted time and is followed into the wilderness by, unbeknownst to him, by a young man called Jason. And Jason and he have to navigate the terrain of 42.5 kilometers to try and get these items to the coastal settlement, because if they don't, then their civilization dies. So the first 8 pages, I'm having a lot of fun actually drawing them. They've been great images, man. So they're sort of flowing a little bit at the moment. So
Excellent.
very excited
Awesome.
to get them out there for everyone.
Sounds great.
Cool.
Looking forward to that.
Cool. And last but least,
Not me.
sorry, I couldn't help myself. Last but not least, we've got ourselves Frederick Trelawney,
Hey.
Turtle Detective by Rob Menzie Lyle.
In the pages of The Devil's Toilet, that's a story about a toilet that escapes from hell, becomes sentient, gets arms and eyes and all that good stuff, and escapes from hell, unwittingly bringing with him a portal that allows the devil to escape from hell. And not only does the devil escape hell, but he brings an army of demons with him. Now, in the pages of The Devil's Toilet, they managed to get most of those demons back down where they belong, but a bunch of them escape and are able to hide themselves by wearing the skin of humans. So they're near undetectable. So what do you do when something's undetectable? You need someone to detect it. So on the last page of The Devil's Toilet 2, we are introduced to a character called Annika, the Angel of Awesome. And she is tasked with finding these demons and sending them back where they belong. So what she does is she decides, well, I'll go and grab the guy who did it the first time. So in 1888 in London's East End, there is a turtle detective called Frederick Trelawney. He works for Scotland Yard, and he systematically is removing demons that are hiding inside human vessels, if you will, and quelling a would-be apocalypse back then. So she was thinking, well, the guy who did it the first time, he'd be the right guy to do it this time. So this is the story about Frederick Trelawney, and we're about to snatch him out of time and bring him into the present. And this is his story about his hunt for Jack the Ripper is interrupted, and his partner he has a partner who he adores, respects, and loves, and she can't come with him into the future, and that's going to lead to all kinds of betrayal and loss and all this sort of stuff. Plus, It's a comic from me, so you know there's going to be some silliness and some good times. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Great, mate. Sounds great. How many issues does that run for, Spedsy?
So that'll be 3 8-page chapters.
Right. Excellent.
Cool.
24 pages. Lovely.
Yeah.
That's a comic size itself. Yeah. Three issues. Yeah.
Oh, funny
I
that.
planned it that way, Dave. What?
Hey.
Amazing, mate. It wasn't a coincidence.
Cool. So
Maybe later.
I'll just bring up this image. This is all the characters in one image. On our right, we have the ComX Presents characters, all in color. And on the left there, we've got Presents Noir characters, which are all black and white. So those 2 issues will be coming out. In the Kickstarter, the color is due in August. Well, actually, the color is due in August. The Presents Noir is due in September. But if you support the Kickstarter and get the Noir, you'll actually get that in August. This is only for the Kickstarter pledge backers. That's what I'm looking for. Kickstarter backers will get the Noir a month early. So that's just something I thought I'd throw in there.
And I'll just give a spiel that I've given a few times, and you'd think I'd be better at it by now. But this is not just the launch of a comic book; it's also the launch of a publisher. So this comic being a success leads to more books being put out. Now, creators out there will know there's not many places where you can put books out unless you do it 100% yourself. So we need people like Shane and the empire that he's building, so that we have more places to put our stories. So supporting this book means that we can do another book. Supporting that one means we can do another one, and success. Let's keep this train rolling. Till in a couple of years, Shane is never sleeping and has an army of millions behind him, and we're putting out a book a week.
and the best thing about it too, Rob, well said, is the fact that the 8 of us are lucky enough to be part of these early issues. But there's so many more people that are out there with stories that, much like myself for many years, may just be at home, doing their trade quietly and stuff, and have never had the opportunity to reach out and try and get a little bit of themselves and what they've been working so hard on into a public forum. And that essentially as well is the beauty of this project, is because there's so many doors that are open for anyone out there with Shane to jump on board this.
Yep.
So yeah, any support is a fantastic thing, and I firmly believe that these comics are going to actually, dig a heel in, if for no other explanation, and show people what we got. Because from looking at the style of the creators behind it, everything's so varied, everything's completely different. You're not just going to get 8 stories that are the same. You're getting 8 stories that are entirely different, one-off, genuinely great pieces from each creator. And I know from knowing you all that everyone's put a lot of effort and blood, sweat and tears into this. So for anyone out there that has not backed the project, down the bottom, we'll talk to that man up in the top left-hand corner. Get on board, because it's a wonderful avenue. So I'm 100% behind it.
My goal is that we help Shane build this thing so big that in 5 years' time, I send in a submission for ComX and he rejects me because he's got too many other people. I built this. Good on him. He did it.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Want a lot of submissions, a lot of people getting involved. The more people get involved and everything, it opens up a lot of opportunities for a lot of up and coming creators, because like you mentioned, they haven't got the finance behind them. They've got a story, they've got the art, they just don't know how to get it out. So this whole initiative will help all the up and comers. And I've been around since 2011, so it's helping me as well.
Yeah, it's all about getting those stories out, helping the people who don't know how to get the stories out, helping the veterans get stories out that they normally wouldn't put out in a separate comic, because these are 8-page stories, so you can't really put out your own comic for them. So, and it's, as Lee would say, it's all about building that community. You don't just get to publish an 8-page comic; you get to meet all the other creators. And you get to network, which is very important in this industry, in most industries, actually. Networking is invaluable. So it's not just about drawing your 8 pages, submitting it. You get to meet everyone. You get to get involved, and it just boosts your entire reputation and your footprint in the industry.
Yep, that's right.
That's actually a good point. All of us presents people have formed a bit of a, starting from the calendar too, have formed a bit of a family. We all do all these streams and stuff together. We hang out after the show and talk and spill our guts about life and whatever, and share tips and tricks about how we do our comics and stuff. So come join us. It's a good time.
Yeah, we had a new fella on there last night, Dane. What was his last name?
Coulter.
Coulter, yeah. New face in the team, and the week before, Jason, Peter Wilson's
Oh.
mate.
Robbie. I can't
Robbie,
remember his last name. I just remember his first name because we got a bit of a mix-up when I introduced him. So
Yeah.
it's drilled into my head now.
But anyway, yeah, we're getting new faces, and it's great that they're coming along and joining in. Like to see more join up as well.
Yep. And we've actually got the next 4 issues of Noir and the next 4 issues of Presents actually committed to by different creators. So that's pretty cool. People have jumped on board. Morgan Quaid over there in the corner, who's been quite quiet. He's actually one of the writers who's coming on board for one of the stories. If I remember correctly, it's issue 4. I could be wrong. I haven't got it in front of me. Maybe it's 3. I'm not sure.
That's awesome.
Of one of the anthologies. So yeah. So we've got people coming in from all over the shop doing one-offs and 3-part stories, and I've got one in there. It's a 9-part story that Nicholas, I believe his name was. He's coming in at issue 4 and onwards, and yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Australian creators.
All Australian creators.
All Australian,
Yeah.
I'm really excited myself for some of the first time guys that'll come up in future, mate. Like for when they get their first comic book, like in their hand, and they can open it and hold it and smell it and do whatever you do, like when you get it, and have a great sense of pride, because that's one of the great feelings that I've had over the last 12 months of being in this community and releasing Battle for Bustle and stuff. The awesomeness of getting that first box, like delivered, where you can open them and wow, and feeling that.
Just shows you how many creators are out there waiting to get on, because you look at Robbie, who was on earlier on in our Drink and Draw, and then not Rob Lyle. That's the night we had the Rob mix-ups. And then Dane last night, brilliant artists, both of them. This is their opportunity to get out there and get their stuff presented, because otherwise they probably wouldn't be doing comics, or they'd be putting it off longer and longer. But they're great artists, excellent.
Yeah,
it can be a daunting thought to do a 22-page comic as well. So, for someone who hasn't done a comic book before, starting with an 8-page thing is a lot more of a doable task, and a good way to learn your chops without having to commit to that sort of hundreds and hundreds of hours of work.
Yeah, and also like in Morgan's position here, as a writer, he'll be able to, in this little community that we're getting together, find an artist for his work. It's all like Sizzle was saying. We got the networking.
Yeah.
And we can all meet each other, talk to each other. Oh, can you got time to knock up draw some few pages for me, and that sort of thing. Yeah.
And even just advice, and like I've already tapped into the community quite a few times, just because I just don't know, what do I do when this happens? Where do you get this from? Just that stuff that you don't know when you're coming into it, particularly if you're not, an artist and you're on the writing side. It's great just to be able to chat to people. And the other thing is, I don't know why I didn't. I think there's this assumption when you're creating something, particularly if it's indie stuff, there's this kind of, I don't know, almost like a guilt that people aren't going to want this because it's not DC and it's not Marvel and it's not Valiant and whatever else, or even it's not Image, or it's not, one of the big ones. And some of the comments that came through on the last campaign that I did were really, really encouraging, because they were saying, just out of the blue, I didn't ask anything, but they just said out of the blue, no offense to the big guys, but it's just the same old stuff. I really like looking for indie things to support because you guys take more risks. And I thought that's fantastic. So there's a big market out there, and people are hungry for this sort of stuff. So that's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great to get that sort of feedback and stuff too, isn't it? Yeah.
The funniest feedback I ever got, man, like I wish I would have taken a screenshot of it. I got a random message one day that said, "If I had a nightmare, I wish it would look like your artwork. And I was like, I took it as a compliment, you know, like why not? Like I was like, well, that's a weird one, but no worries, you know. Like I don't even know who that person was, but they're the sort of compliments and support you get out here in the independent comic book world. So it's
Yeah, that's a ripper.
I need to get a T-shirt done up with "If I Had a Nightmare" written on it, and then bustle on the back or something.
yeah. It's, I just always remembered that.
Your nightmare could look like this.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
But these are the things that you do. I mean, you get, you know, like as I said last night on the show, Dane Goulter, who was on last night, is a first-time artist. I mean, his cousin Darren is a mate of Shane's and lives up the road from me, and he's come over and had a yarn, and you know, we've talked shop comic books, and he's seen artwork, and he's seen the Bible and the stacks of original artwork in the room and stuff, and you know, I mean, these are the nice things that happened. You know, people just reach out, and support's a great thing, and yeah, that's essentially what it's all about. And I really. There's some good people. I can't say anything either about up and coming stories and that, you know, because Shane, you know, keeps all that lid on it and everything. But I mean, there's some artists and writers and, you know, creators in general coming up further down the track that is quite an impressive list of people that are jumping on board with this too. And, you know, there's a few of them that been around the community for a long time, and on the outskirts, but are coming back in and stuff. And I'm very excited to see what they've got to throw out there as well. So
yeah. Well, you know, is Dave DeVries going to be? Is he putting anything in, or is he concentrating most on his own stuff?
No, actually, he has put in interest to do 4 Southern Squadron stories
For
8-page
right
stories for ComX Presents.
Mm.
So that's pretty cool. I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but we are working towards getting that all up and running by issue 4.
Well, you know,
to get that started.
You start the rumor, and then that's what we used to do in the army. You know, you start the rumor. We're going to knock off early on at lunchtime.
Yeah.
And you start the rumor, and before you know, it gets to the boss. Oh, are we? Oh, really? Anyway, okay.
I'll be starting that rumor every day. Did you hear the new finish time is like in an hour?
Boss, didn't you know, boss? Come down.
Public holiday somewhere.
Start the rumor, mate, and we'll have everyone writing and drawing for us.
Yeah, woo. But not to what's the word? Not to devalue or anyone else, but actually, it's funny. The one I'm really looking forward to is an artist who's only done webcomics, Julian. I can't remember his last name. Sorry, Julian. And
Velasco? Is it Velasco?
I think that's it. Yeah, and he's never done a published comic. So this will be his first published comic, and I'm really excited about being on that journey with him. He will be in issue 2. He's already started the artwork for it, and he's written the story already, and he's working on it as we speak. And that will be. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he comes out with, and just that enthusiasm and that excitement that just comes off him about the fact that he's going to produce a comic is just awesome. Because it's so new for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so good to have a community like this, that someone starting out can do that. Because if you don't have that, it's a big, scary world, and you don't know anything about publishers. And, you know, this is a much nicer experience, I think, for someone just coming into the industry. That's great. That's really cool.
Yeah,
right. It is.
There was another fellow you contacted me about, was Stephen. Someone, was it? He was doing.
Oh yeah, he did comics years and years and years ago. Stephen McLeod. Sorry, Stephen, I'm really bad with last names. Yeah, he's actually in the next issue as well of Noir, and I have no idea what his story is about. He's just doing. I'm just letting him roam free, I guess is probably the best way to put it. And he showed me a lot of his old stuff. I didn't just randomly go, yeah, sure, make a comic with this. And it's really cool art. It's really cool stuff.
Right.
So he's just doing a little 8-page story for us. And
did you say?
yeah, he was the one who had a bit of trouble. He used to always produce A4 comics. That's
Right.
why he was asking you about the ratios and how you convert it into a standard comic size. Because he has published comics, but they were a long time ago and they were A4.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and does he does most of his work on paper, or is he digital? Did he say?
He hasn't said, but I get the impression it's actually traditional. Yeah,
I think it might be, because otherwise he wouldn't need it. Because you can just, if you're in Clip Studio or Illustrator or Photoshop or whatever, you just set your page size, wouldn't you? So yeah.
of course, yeah. So the fact that he wants to know what it is on paper, yeah. So that would make sense that it's traditional.
Yeah.
He does the same style as you, Dave, where he draws in pencils. Yeah, it's all clicking back to me. I'm waking up finally. He draws A4, boosts it up into A3, and then inks on A3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's basically, if anyone who's watching and is wondering how you work out the ratio, what you do is you get this is an American size comic.
Nice little plug there for Ed.
And you just put it up against this is an A4 sheet of paper. Basically, all you do is just put them on the bottom at one corner. Put a little dot up there where the corner of the comic is, and then remove that. Remove the comic, and just rule a line up to where the dot, through the dot, and that'll give you the correct ratio on the page.
Of course, yeah, that's a good trick.
Just play with it as you like, because you just discard that here's pages I'm working on now. I don't know if you can see them.
Oh yeah, hang on.
I just tried to boost you up like I was driving.
These are this is A4 sheet, but there's this over this side. There's a ruler line down there.
Oh yeah.
That, if everything on this side where the writing or the drawing is on is at 2 US size comic size, and that's just cool. Over this side. So when you scan it, you just cut that bit off, and it's done. And then once you get it into Clip Studio or Photoshop, whatever you're using, you can adjust just by shrinking it down or up the page. Transform your scale up or down, and that'll give you your bleeds. If you want to make it bigger, just stretch it outside to bleed out, or if you want to make it inside your safe area, just reduce it down into your safe area.
Yep, cool.
Once you've got it on it scanned, it's pretty simple and easy.
Yep.
So that's your tech tip for the day.
Tech tip for the day. Excellent.
So, Shane, question for you, mate.
Oh, thank you.
You've been live for what? We're talking 18 hours, something to that effect. Would I be correct? How is it, going for you? How's the Kickstarter happening for ComX Presents and that at this point, mate? What do we got?
We've got 27 backers, and they have raised $934. So we're almost at the 50% mark. I'll just press this and get the actual percentage mark. We are at, it's loading slowly. 48. It's loading very slowly. Oh, you worked it out. Thanks. Oh, it says 44.
Oh, what was the total? I thought it was 2,000.
Oh, no, it's 2,100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, so it's going quite well. We'd be sitting on 20. we've gone past the 24-hour mark. That was last night yesterday evening at 5 o'clock, and I'm not going to do the maths for what that is now. So that's what 36 plus 6. So 42 hours it's been going.
Right.
Couple of days.
Yeah. That's cruising along nicely.
Yeah, it is. But get your pledges in, because it's not like a GoFundMe or anything for people who haven't got onto Kickstarter before. You actually get rewards for your pledges. And in this case, you get the comics, and you're pledging the amount that the actual thing is worth. So when you pledge $12, you get a $12 comic. It's not. So it's for anyone who's not familiar with Kickstarter. It's sort of like buying the comic like a pre-order. Technically, it's not. Kickstarter don't like you saying that, but technically it is. So, yeah.
Technically, this is the Predator.
You didn't say that, did you?
It's like getting a pre-order, and in this case, it is very much like that because you get the new a whole month earlier than everyone else. So.
Yep.
And the other awesome thing is, like, for the price you're going to pay with the rewards, but the comic itself it's a big comic book. It's not just a little,
24 pages or 22
yeah,
pages.
mate. It's not, you pay $12 and you fit. Sometimes you go to a comic book shop and you get books that you really want, and you pay like $14, $15 for them, and you get home excited and you read them in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
This comic book has got a little bit of like grit to it.
It's a 48-page comic.
Stories. Yeah. There you go. Bargain.
Well,
Lovely artwork. Good stuff.
I've got a little comic here in front of me that I picked up the Supernova, Melbourne, and it's only, what's it, 8 pages. It cost me $5, something like that. So this is really, what we're getting here is really good value for money.
I agree.
Yeah, we try to price it so that it's on the economic side of things.
Yeah, it's definitely cheap for what you're getting.
Yeah. So for all the people out there who like comics, so what was that?
A little too cheap, Shane.
Oh, okay. I'll take note of that.
Some money. We need some money for Shane to keep the lights on over there. Man's working 26 hours a day.
9 days a week.
412 days a year.
That's right.
Except today, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made the mistake of shutting your eyes.
Yeah. I should have kept going.
Yeah.
I was telling Lee I was such a good boy till I logged out of the whole StreamYard of it all. It's like last time I hosted, I forgot to log out, and then you were frantically texting me the next morning, log out so I can log in. Had I not logged out, we could have got the show up and running, but I was a good boy.
Oh, well, that'll teach you. Next time, disobey.
Yeah.
Do the wrong thing. No.
Well, it goes to show you the dedication of Shane, doesn't it? The fact that he's kept pumping for 2 days and he's got to the point where, he just had to have a rest and he was a little bit late, but it doesn't matter. Job well done, mate. Like he just keeps on powering, and no doubt Shane will be awake for another 5 days. So it's you got to get sleep in where you can. So, it's how it is in the world.
You haven't got Dustin's phone number, mate. You might have to give him a tingle. Well, you reckon
no. Dustin's gone off for the night. He cancelled the guys because he thought it wasn't happening. So it's just us. And nice. Probably going to be a nice short one. Without Dustin keeping the conversation going.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he would have had a bit.
Keep it short and sweet.
Yeah.
I suppose the American people watching would have been expecting to see something from the US side of things, I guess.
Yeah. Well, according to this, we've got one person watching, so we're doing really well. So that's what happens when you're late, I guess. So sorry, everyone. Yes, I slept in.
Oh, well, that's all right. We won't hold it against you, mate.
No,
You're only human.
that's all right. That's right. And you know, it's hard work. You know, being the guy that's getting all the messages and doing all the behind the scenes work, and like shows happening, and transcripts happening, and organising guests, and making sure people have got deadlines and they're hitting them, and
Lots of fun.
Yeah,
And there's work on top of that.
Lee,
Yeah.
you're
Yes, mate.
doing a wraparound cover for the Kickstarter.
I am. Yes.
Have you got any art there to show us, mate?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Nice.
Excellent.
So that'll be finished
awesome.
today.
You've
So-
just started
today.
inking, have you?
Yeah, I was doing some inking last night, mate, with you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the
Drinking
pencils a day or two, probably 3 or 4 days back, and
Mhm.
finished a couple of pages of Marathon, and Shane threw it out. That was going to be a print, and then Shane's idea came up about doing a wraparound cover. So
Yeah.
I got my bum into gear and basically started doing it. So this afternoon will be a nice relaxed one, sitting down here trying to get through that inking, and then on to more Marathon over the next couple of days.
What are you
Yes.
thinking of, mate?
Mate, I use Indian ink and brushes for the main blacks, but at the moment, Dave, I'm using these Faber-Castell pens.
Yeah, Faber-Castell.
That's,
What have they got?
I found them to be. I'm particular with pens. If I don't like how they feel in my fingers and stuff like that, I ditch them. It's
Right. Yeah.
it's a strange thing I've got, but I found that they're very comfortable, very smooth, and I have a terrible habit of absolutely pelting through pens, Dave, because I press real hard on the paper, mate, and these are tough as nails.
Bugger the points up. I've got a set of Faber-Castells here.
Yep.
There's 4 in there. There's a couple, small, fine, medium, and a brush.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Do you use a brush at all, like that sort of brush?
The thicker. Yeah, I do. I do. When
I've got a point on them like that.
yeah, that's them, mate. I use them constantly. It's I use all of them. Like I'm not. If I need it, I'll use it. I'm not a particular like. I'm just going to stick with a 0.3, and I'm going to stick with a 0.5. Like, and then
you also use traditional brush, sable.
Certainly do, mate. Yes,
Yeah.
Indian ink. Oh,
Yeah, Indian ink, yeah. What sort of Indian ink you using, mate?
this one right here.
Oh yeah, I used to use that, Windsor and Newton.
Yeah.
I've sent away in the mail and got some of this. They reckon it's supposed to be the bee's knees. Speedball Super Black.
Yeah, right.
These are, I think these modern inks are acrylic, or an acrylic type thing. They're a bit different to the old traditional ones, and they're not quite as solid. I don't think you've got to really, if you don't shake them or stir them up, it comes out pretty watery. So you really got to make sure you stir them up. But I don't know if they're as good as the stuff we used to get 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, mate, I've sort of I was using this Indian ink back when I was a young fella, and I'm a bit of a stickler for, if I like something, then, many years later I'm still using it. Then I've hunted this Windsor and Newton ink down any chance I can get.
Mm-hmm.
And then the really weird part, it's quite expensive too, but, that's okay. But then I was at Officeworks the other week, doing some scanning and, like puttering around as you do. And then it's up on the shelf there. So Windsor and Newton ink is available at Officeworks. And from memory, it was only like $15 for the bottle. And that sort of blew me out a little bit because I found it difficult for a while to track it down.
the thing is, when you get it in little bits like that, it's more expensive. But if you can buy it in a, this is nearly, well, this is 5. Anyway, it's a lot. 16 fluid ounces.
Yep.
54.6 mil, it says, but it's got to be more than that. Unless it's 546. Anyway.
This is the type of keyboard I use when I'm writing my scripts.
Excellent.
It's wide.
Is that connected by a cable to your
No, it's
computer?
free floating.
Goody, geez. How far away from
Fancy
the computer
stuff.
do you have to be to operate it? Did you go to the toilet and still try
Can't really see. Once upon a time.
technology?
Well, Yeah. Well, I see you trying to share something there, Rob, so I'll bring that up. Oh, there it is. Just taking its... Oh, what'd I do?
That's good. You did it. It was working.
Oh, I was working.
Jack
Sorry.
the Ripper stalks in the shadows. London's East End, 1888. Detective Frederick Trelawney is called to the scene of another gruesome murder. But this one is different. From the creator of The Devil's Toilet, Rob Lyle, aka Spetsy, comes Frederick Trelawney, Turtle Detective. Appearing in the pages of ComX Presents, Scotland Yard's greatest turtle detective unravels a hellish mystery. And that is only the beginning. Go to presents.comx.studio and support this all-new anthology series. Or I'll polish your damn boots, you donkey.
Oh, that's gold.
That is, mate.
I
That's
played that
fantastic.
through a couple of times the other day when it came on, and I thought, "What's that last bit she says?" What? And I played it through 3 times, and I missed it. And that's the first time I actually understood what she said.
Or I'll polish your boots, you donkey.
Oh, that's
And I
awesome.
also noticed that he's got the socks garters on there, holding
Yeah.
his socks up. Yeah, that's an old thing from the way back in the old days. They didn't have elastic, and so they had garters, but they didn't wear shorts with them, I don't think, mate. I think it
Yeah,
was
well,
underneath.
Trelawney was a weird. So I've had him for that character for years, but it started as a drawing challenge. I drew 6 stick figures, and I was going to make them a superhero team. And there was I was like, there's a robot, there's the professor, there's the cable type, big military leader guy. It's basically a ripoff of X-Force. There's the super stealthy lady, and then there's the big muscly character like the Hulk or the Thing or something like that. And I drew them all. And like the big muscly guy was like a farmer guy in overalls. The cable guy looked like a ripoff of Cable. But the professor was this old-timey turtle with a top hat and sock thing, whatever. And I showed my wife. She was like, what are all these things? I was like, I'm just playing around with making up a superhero team. And she's like, oh, I really like that turtle guy. So I was like, all right, well, that was enough for me to start drawing him a bunch of times. And
all those feature on the calendar that you put out.
no, the other characters I didn't do anything with. They're just I posted them to Instagram 100 years ago, and that's it. No, the calendar is all the sort of characters that I'm sort of building my universe on.
Menzie-verse.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you've got some good feedback from that calendar as well.
Yeah.
Shane.
Yeah, the calendar has been getting some great feedback. Most of it in personal messages to me, unfortunately. So hopefully some people will start putting it out there about how great their calendar is, so everyone can read how good it was. And quality is one of the big things that I keep getting back, what good quality it is. So I'd like to thank Jeffries for that, because they're the ones who printed it, and they did a great job. There are really nice calendars, and you guys will never get yours because we're in lockdown, and I'm not sending them. So I'm keeping them. I'm keeping this pile. So none for the artists. Keeping them all. And I'll be sending them during the week. I'll be sending them during the week.
Talking about the calendar and Menzie just talking about his characters and stuff. When we first started doing the calendar, I wasn't familiar with a lot of everyone's artwork and stuff. So that was the big, like the off we go
for all of us.
And then I was looking through the calendar like last night and stuff and the night before, and it's just so weird that now, like just an example, you open up and you get to Rob and it's like, there's Cheloney and there's like this guy and there's that, like you can start piecing them together, and like with Dave, there's Lee from Dropship 15, and then and
the background,
there's Fox and Hound, there's Pit Can, and then you just suddenly start like joining all the dots, man. And it's it is excellent, man. That calendar, I was really happy with all of that, Shane. That's what I mean, man, is that's something that is unique, is that calendar. Like and well, it is unique because you don't see that sort of stuff too much. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's not too many people go out and create something like that, and then to get 18 people, and then not just the 18 people agreeing to it, but then there's certain people that you might want the artist and the creator, but that artist and the creator actually is drawing the character for another artist and creator. So you might have 18 pieces that you need, but there's, there could be up to like 50 or 60 people in the background in total that you've got to talk to, get permissions for, get deadlines with, that was a bloody big undertaking, man. And, I was pretty blown out about it. It's Tam was running around last night while I was down here on the drink and draw trying to work out which wall is now going to have a giant nail put in it to hang up said calendar. So I'm going to assume that that will be one of my tasks today. Will be, little quick trip down to Bunnings to, like get all
just one nail. I'd like one nail, please. No more.
Well, while I'm there, I'll be sure to ask them, like many questions along the lines of, which nail will be best, the details of them,
and do you have a device with which I can put the nail? Like, is there something I can hit this with?
Yes, I need that left-handed hammer.
Works for me.
So, yeah.
Well, one of the things I love about the calendar the most is the calendar's turned out really well, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but the main purpose of that calendar was to promote everyone who was in it, and I think it's done a great job of doing that, and to build that community with the 18 creators that came on board to do the artwork for the calendar, and it's snowballed more than I expected. So it's been great. So the calendar's great, but the main purpose behind it for me was to form that community and to promote all the artists. The artists themselves, not necessarily ComX, but the artists themselves. And I think it's done a great job of that. Like Lee was saying, he now can identify artwork and characters that he never would have before this calendar.
Yeah. But I think with ComX, it's basically the community. It's ComX is not just Sizzle, Siddle. It's us, the group. Everyone.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's
can't
ComX.
spell community without com.
Yeah.
Or unity.
ComX Unity.
Yeah. But
Funny you should mention that, Spedzi. There's a group called ComX Unity for ComX Unity members.
So you've got a few members. How many people involved with have signed up with ComX now, Shane?
I haven't actually looked at the number, but we hit 100 a couple of months ago. So
that's 100. They're all Australian creators.
They're all Australian creators, be them writers, illustrators, inkers, whatever. Cover artists. We've got people like Ash Maddy, who's just a cover artist. Anyone who lives in Australia or any Australians who are abroad are invited to be part of the ComX community. And so
why not? Get involved. Good to be
Absolutely.
part of it.
So yeah, it's really good. It's I haven't been chasing up as much as I did because of the calendar and because of presents. So the numbers would probably be a lot higher if I was still chasing people like I used to. But I've sort of got sidetracked with the whole calendar and comic thing. So now I just get people coming in on their own, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, if you were talking about doing up some little flyer things or something to give to us that we could hand out at conventions and stuff that we go
business
to.
cards. So I'm happy to obviously pass those on for raise the profile for comics. Awesome, thank you, Dave.
No, I think we all will do that without. It's no skin off anyone's nose. But anyway, it's easy enough done. Easy done.
Awesome.
Hey, Shane, here's one for you, man. While you're at it, with all these lockdowns that are going on, maybe you should get a ComX mask. So if you cruise around with ComX on it.
I've thought about it, but they're actually surprisingly expensive to get them printed.
Yeah.
So and there's minimum amounts. I was looking at what was the other day, and I was trying to get some for the customized bags for putting the comics in, and the minimum order was 20,000. I'm like, that's not going to happen.
20,000.
20,000, not 2,000. 20,000.
Yeah, because everyone needs a spare 9,965 bags laying around, don't they?
Exactly.
Bloody hell.
Cool. Oh, hello. A bit shy.
Yeah. My wife just left, so now I'm on borrowed time. where it's see how long it takes for them to crack it.
On father duties today.
Yeah.
How come they're not wearing like beanies, mate?
Because they're not wuss bags like me.
Right.
Also, look at this. I'm trying to hide that a little bit.
Well, it's also that magnificent hair needs to be protected.
Yeah, I know. He's just showing off.
Hey, it's like a mane. Look at it.
That was a nice shoe.
Rob, the only thing I got to worry about brushing out of my eyes on a windy day is my eyebrows, mate. This like fluttering in and shit, But it's getting bad when you can bring your beard up at eyebrow level. Have a look at that. Eh?
Getting bad or getting awesome?
real hillbilly beard, that one, mate.
Yeah. Well, it just I'm attached to it now, Dave. So it's like I've never wanted it to get this long, mate. But it's just
Well, it's got longer and longer. We've seen its progression. I think when I first saw you, it was sort of just about maybe just an inch below you or half an inch below your chin. But now it's just, we've seen it just grow. We're wondering when it'll ever stop.
Well, the beard is in harmony with the community. So this is the ComX beard. So
the first time I saw a picture of you, Lee, was you when you got your first box of Battle for Bustles. I watched a video of you cutting them open, and your beard was about as long as mine. Battle for Bustle issue 9. When it comes out live on the stream, pick that thing off the floor.
I'll be doing this. Throwing it over the shoulder.
Flicking it over your shoulder.
Yeah. Is
then
that
it's part
that's
of
a
the-
magnificent scarf, sir? Yes, it's my beard, like
One of the stretch goals for the Battle for Bustle issue 9 will be bits of your beard in a bag.
yes. Yes, we could. Well, there's enough of it here, mate. So
Yeah.
Maybe you could plat bookmarks out of it or something.
Well, mate, you won't be getting any of my fringe. So like if it comes down to hair, I guess it's gonna have to be a beard. So yeah, no, it's
Well, you
Going
did mention last night that you were thinking about cutting it off, mate.
yes, mate. Yeah.
But
It's I've got one little
Can't be done.
project. Hey, can't be done.
Can't be done.
No.
Like Spezzy's saying, it's got to go to issue 9. It's got to
Yeah.
keep
You
growing.
got to wait till then at least.
I have no interest in meeting your chin.
There's not much of one, mate. Like it's only like about half an inch below my bottom lip. So it's like
It's like, has that guy got 3 lips? What is that?
pretty much, like that's what it boils down to. So, I mean, I'd essentially look a little bit like Vivian Jones, mate, like long neck and like little head and like just lips moving around. So, yeah,
Available now on Kickstarter.
available now on Kickstarter. That's right. But yeah, so I was, but a little project with Tam that I have to use the beard for, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So.
It sounds sexier than you meant it.
Oh well, Tam had this idea that like she's a florist and stuff, and she does succulent arrangements, and she just makes these amazingly creative and detailed works, man, wall hangings, you name it, involving flora. And she just had this idea of she actually wanted to use my beard and like instead of beads and stuff, like have succulent through it, arrangements and stuff.
Yeah.
And I reckon that'd be a pretty cool thing to, like have a go at. I don't know if anyone else in the world would use it, but it'd be a cool look, for that.
I'm friends with Tam on Facebook. I didn't know she was a florist at first, and I thought, oh wow, look, Lee's giving her a huge bouquet of flowers, and then the next day more flowers, and I'm like, Lee, settle down, mate. Come on. Horrible.
You're thinking, oh, he must have stuffed up big time. He's keeping trying to get on the good book.
Those Battle for Bustles must be selling all right. The man can afford these like $100 bouquets every day.
Well, you know what the funny part is I've always Tam and I have always had flowers in the house and stuff anyway, but it makes it very difficult for presents. So, if you're out and about and you just see a bunch of flowers as you do for your missus or wife and stuff occasionally, you know what I mean? Where now you get to the point and you're like, man, that's a really nice bunch of flowers. Damn. I can't do that because the analysis of it is like, I can immediatally tell that you did this because the stems aren't cut correctly and it hasn't been wired properly. And,
Too technical.
there's a lot goes into floristry. Let me tell you, it's an art in itself, mate. It's amazing.
Yeah,
what they
definitely.
do. So, yeah, it's
fellas,
beautiful.
I
thing.
just saw the time. I'm going to have to step out. Sorry to tell you. Well, you
Yeah,
might
that's
be-
okay.
But I'll catch you again, and thanks for having me on, and we'll take it easy, eh?
Pleasure as
Always
always,
a
Dave.
pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Dave.
See you, Dave. Be good, mate.
See you, fellas. Bye.
Cheers.
Now I can tell you what a horrible mess this thing is. That's freaking awesome, Reed.
Yeah, it is.
It is, man. It is. That was a nice package. I got some comic books from Peter Wilson the other day. I'm going to tuck into later on. I got some comic books from Spedzi down the bottom, which I'm going to read later on as well. It's
Do you like my little picture I put in there for you, mate?
oh man, the whole thing's good. I love it. Like I love doing little personalized things like that, as well. I always try and put notes on things on the front of the cardboard to people as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like just little bits and bobs. But no, I'll be hooking into that, man. And got Morgan's Enmity stuff on its way over the next couple of months that I'm keen to have a dig into as well. So read Hayden's stuff the other day and thought that was awesome. Like, that was a good read. That the comic community is vibrant, man. It's pumping at the moment with, like creators and stuff. So everyone's doing good work. It keeps you motivated. So I'm looking forward to just continuing on and maintaining my position and helping and doing what I can and being involved, So it's great. It's awesome.
Cool.
So on another note, Shane, if I may interrupt, Morgan, idle thuggery. What's it about?
It's about thuggery, but not a structured kind of thuggery, just an idle kind of thuggery. Is that pretty clear?
Yeah, well, yep, we can work on that.
It's my only superhero comic that I've done so far. So I've not done any other superhero style comics, but this is the only one, and it's from the perspective of a henchman who kind of gets caught up in the whole enterprise and starts working for an arch villain, and he's just an ordinary Joe that meets an old friend in a back alley while he's getting robbed by a junkie, and the old friend is dressed in a suit and holding guns and has thugs around him and all that sort of stuff, and recognizes him and says, "Oh, dude, I got a job for you. If you want a job, here's my card. Come and see me." He's got nothing else going on, so he goes and sees him. And then the next thing you know, he's working for the arch villain named, what is his name? Pendulum, who's the biggest arch villain in this whole city. So it kind of follows this one guy as he goes through this journey, and everyone around him is sort of dying and, falling away. That big in the 90s, big teeth, Austin Powers. Sorry, it took me a while to get there. Austin Powers. That bit? I think it's in Austin Powers, the first one, where there's a henchman that gets rolled over by the bulldozer or an ice thing or whatever it is, and it's slowly crushed. Yeah, and there's that thing that they say no one ever considers what happens to the family of a henchman, and then they go and see the wife, and then she's on the phone and she tells the kids Daddy's not coming home and all that sort of stuff because of this henchman. That was where the idea came from. I thought that'd be great to show it from a perspective of a henchman. So it's kind of that's kind of what it's all about. It's good fun. It was my first comic, so it was a real experience. I can't remember if I told you guys, but I did all the dimensions wrong because I didn't know. So I had the artist do 8x10s. 11 by 14s. I printed it through Amazon. Had like a printing thing that they did. This is years ago. So the thing is massive. It didn't make any sense at all. So I've since changed that to be American standard and fixed it all, and then put some new covers on it and all that sort of stuff. But that's pretty much what it is.
Very good.
Do you have a copy there, like one of the massive ones? I would just love to see. I would love to see how big it is.
All right, so this is the new sort of size.
Yeah.
This is,
it's like a trade sort of size.
This is the original that I printed.
It actually looks pretty cool.
It's heavy and it's thick. Oh. I mean, it is pretty cool, but
that actually looks pretty awesome. Yeah.
It cost a fortune, and I know I definitely said this on the show earlier or ages ago. It was my first Kickstarter campaign. Never did it before. Didn't know what I was doing, so I had them printed in America, posted to Australia, and then I posted out to backers who were largely in America, and made less than nothing on the whole thing because the postage was double the cost of the books, and the books were expensive as well. So it was a really good learning experience and a really dumb thing to do. But anyway, so now that I know how it works, I've rejigged everything so it's the right size. and got a couple of cover artists to do some really cool covers. And I've got it on Indiegogo at the moment, more to just sort of get it out there and, you know, that sort of stuff. Because, of course, you can't do 2 Kickstarters at once because of rules and
The
such.
rules, yes, we know about those rules. That's why there's 2 comics in one Kickstarter for Presents.
That's the way to. And where would someone find out about Presents, Shane? Where would they go?
Funny you should ask. It says there's a link, presents.comx.studio. That'll take you straight to the Kickstarter.
Sweet.
I might have to get my hands on one of these comics.
Well, you're not getting it for free. You got to buy it. I'm not giving them out like the calendar.
Hey, the best part is I went inside last night and Tam's like, "Hey, I'm pledging." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool. What are you going for?" And like, man, she had it all mapped out, dude. Like, there's notepads with this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to add on, and then she had little scratches coming out, and I'm going to go this bundle and that bundle, and so she was on fire last night with it, man. So yeah, it's good. So mate, I believe my oh man, well the funny part is the funny part is like my mum like is you know, pledging. My aunt will pledge, and my uncle will pledge. My nieces are, not my nieces, but my cousins are, you know, pledging and stuff over the oncoming weeks. It's really, they just sort of spin me out. So they all jump on it. They all love it, man. They and the weird part is like, I guess they do it because I'm involved, but the other part is they do it because they see a purpose in people like us doing it as well. And I come from a family that if you work hard, you get rewarded. You know what I mean? Like, and you get supported. But if you just want to sit on your bum and do nothing, then, you know, like, that's okay too. But, you know, don't think that you're going to, you know, get the assistance up, and they're all 100% for it, man. You know, like everything we do. So it's good on them. So they'll be coming further up the line. But
awesome.
I think it's been a pretty good start, man, to the campaign so far. I apologise I couldn't get there on Thursday, but I was
no, that's all good.
Yeah, stuck in the city, unfortunately. So it's how it is. But we're here now. And everyone get on board the Kickstarter. So jump on.
Jump on. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll put a link into what we are showing on, which is YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. So I'll put a link out to all of those so people can just click on that and go straight there. Or if those links aren't working, because I can't really see if they're working, you just type in presents.comx. There is no I in ComX. .studio.
I like the old there is no I in comics.
Yeah. It's funny how that started, actually. It's turned into there is no I as in it's a team effort. But it all started with there's a site out there that's called ComX with an I, and it's a porn site. So I need to tell everyone without an I.
That's disgusting. Now let me just write it down just to clarify. That's disgusting.
Yeah, let me write it down so no one else will discover this, you know. Absolutely.
I must go there and give them a piece of my mind immediately.
That's right.
Not just my mind.
So on another note, Shano, we got you got a Wednesday show coming up next week.
We have a Wednesday show with I haven't got
Who's
any
on
of
that
it
one, mate?
running. I knew you were going to ask that. Just give me a second. Sorry, the computer runs a bit slow when we're doing these lives.
It's all good. I like when SK is on the shows, man. Like, he's a chatty little fella, I tell you. It's
I remembered. Yeah, Lauren Marshall
Yeah.
and and Jesse Drachman. He's
Awesome.
on the show.
Yeah.
Lauren's
Yeah.
awesome. If you can talk your head off, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so that'll be good, actually.
Awesome.
So that's Wednesday's night show. We've got Brad back at the end to talk about some comics that he's read.
Yep.
Then we've got Drink and Draw, which I can't remember which
Bin Kitty, isn't it?
It's Bin Kitty, yeah, is the next one. Bin Kitty in the next one. And we've also got tonight's show, which is all about people promoting themselves. So if we get enough people who want to promote what they're doing, not just what ComX is doing, we've got the I call it the After Dark Party. Yeah, the After Dark Party. Sorry, it's new, so I'm forgetting what it's called. And that's just that's at 8:00 tonight, and that's just for everyone to have a bit of a chat and a bit of a yarn, and just talk about what Australian indie is out there. So yeah. And then what else? And then there's this show again next Saturday, and hopefully I'll wake up for it.
That's okay. That's
Cool.
okay.
Well, I'm thinking Rob needs to go babysit. So I think we've said enough about as much as we can about presents.comx.studio, and the ComX Studio presents and ComX Studio presents Noir comics that are in the Kickstarter. I thank everyone who has backed and everyone who's going to back soon, because I know that's what you're going to do. Looking at the camera, I know that's what you're going to do. And so thanks guys for coming on. Thanks Morgan, thanks Lee, thanks Rob, thanks Dave in the background. Sorry about being late. Thanks for still coming on and supporting everything. And yeah, that's a wrap, everyone. Have a great Saturday.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Be good.